We will discuss again about viewers. Story comes from Sweden, and our moderator will be our colleague from Hessen-Rundfunk in Germany, Frank Böhm, if I pronounce correctly. Almost, okay. Almost. Welcome, Frank. Welcome, everybody.
Yes, we have a date in the pre-CIRCOMRegional, so we'll make it short and quickly. Power to the viewers. It's a wish we all have, get more connected to the viewers. And it's about the question how to perform a live investigation with the crowd. In that project, the three over there, we're in constant dialogue with the audience for an entire week. And they allowed the audience to set the agenda. So how it works, they will show us. Cecilia Lönnehed, Sofia Nordén, and Anton Svendsen. I hope that's okay, so. Okay, go on.
Well, hello. This is a challenge, right? The last session of the day. A few of you are still left and still awake, so that's a good start, isn't it? Well, Sofia, who is a reporter at SVT Nyheter Väst, a local news station, and Cecilia Lönnehed, online specialist, also at our local news station, SVT Nyheter Väst, and myself, who is a news editor at the same place. We did this together, and I'm going to start just to try to get you to understand what it is we did. And I'll try to make it pretty brief, and after that we will answer the questions together. So, let me see. Power to the viewers. Yeah, that's what it is about. Online shopping scams, that's what we called it. And what is a scam, someone asked me. Well, that is when someone tricks you or fool you out of your money. So if I want to buy a used car online, someone says, I have a car, put the money in my account in advance. I do that. I never see them again and I don't get the car. Well, I've been scammed. So now you know what a scam is, right? And we did what we call a live investigation together with the crowd. What is a live investigation? Well, somebody call it real-time journalism. Obviously, it's something you do live. You do it in real time. You set up an amount of time. In our case, it was 5 days from Monday through Friday. And we say, all the work that we are going to do in this time. And we are going to do it in a transparent way so you can see what we actually do. Not only the result in the end of the week, you will see what the progress, the work, the research, the fact-checking, all of that. We will show that to you so you can follow our work. And more importantly, we want to do it together with you. So that's a brilliant idea, isn't it? Why do we do it? Why did we do it? Well, our friend from Canada this morning, he said that likes, they can be bought, but engagement is the most important thing. And this is a way to get engagement from the crowd. It's a great way. You can rip it off. We will show you this example, and then you can go home and do the same thing at your news stations. So this is a really good way. And it's also a fun way to work. Because, let's be honest, sometimes it's just tedious work of doing preparations, weeks and weeks and weeks, and then you have 1 day of publishing and you're done. This is a more fun way to work. You work extremely hard for 5 days, and you show all the progress. So every day is a publishing day, and then you're done. So it's a fun way to work. And how did we do this? Well, first of all, I had to go to some of the bosses at SVT and say, I want 3 reporters for an entire week. Okay, great. They said, well, what is it that you want to do? Well, we don't really know. We're going to ask the crowd. And they said, can we trust this guy? I had a longer beard then, so they said, we're not really sure. But then I had to guarantee them that well, you can trust us. We're going to do articles. We're going to do a broadcast. We don't know the content, but we're going to do it. So they said yes. And here you see Sofia and Cecilia start thinking about what topic should we choose to do a live investigation about. And I guess the most common way we choose topics is guessing. We're guessing, we're saying, we guess the audience will like this. And then we do it. Where we tried another way, we made it the trial way. Sofia, she made a lot of reportages during that spring, the last spring we did this. And after one of the reportage that she did, after that aired in the evening news, she said, I got a lot of emails from people saying they like the reportage. They have experience of the same thing. So now we know that was a topic that would engage a lot of people because we already tried it. And that topic was online shopping scams. There's a trading site in Sweden, it's called Blocket. That's the biggest trading site with some 4 million unique visitors every week. And it's Sweden's go-to stop to buy new or used products, everything from cars to ceramic vases or whatever you want to buy, you buy there. So now we told the viewers, listen, we're going to look closer into the scams that's going on this trading site. We don't know what we're going to find. We want you to tell us what topics within this Blocket site you want us to look at. And we did this article. We put it out on a Friday. We put it on social media. We put it on our own website. And we also did a trailer for the broadcast for the local news. And 3 days later, on the Monday, we started working. And because we had put this trailer out in advance and on social media, we have already gotten some tips, so we had something to start with. And this is what it looked like. It's a live text flow. We call it Scribble. I'm sure a lot of people here work with Scribble. It's live text. So here we wrote everything that we did. We wrote, we got these tips. We're now going to call the police. And then we wrote, the police didn't answer. We're going to try in 10 minutes again. We wrote, we're going to fact check. We're fact checking this and that. And if we got questions, which we did, we immediately answered those questions as good as we could. And if we didn't know the answer, it didn't matter. We put the questions up anyway, and we told people we don't know the answer, but we're going to try to find it. And we published and responded all incoming tips. And as soon as we got a question, we almost immediately answered it. And when a lot of people asked the same thing or wrote about the same thing, we dug deeper into that subject and we wrote an article about it. And one of the most important things is that we took the audience behind the scenes. We wanted them not only to see the finished product, but to see the road that led up to that finished project. That was one of the main objectives. And we used a friendly and inviting tone. So it would be like you speaking to your friend speaking to us. It's pretty simple, right? Most of you could do it at your place. So it's not that hard. But then, you remember I promised our bosses it would also be something for the broadcast show, for the local evening news. And this was an online project. How do you convert that into broadcast? Well, there's a very, very simple way, but still very effective. Put the expert, the reporter or the online specialist in the studio and let them talk about it. Let's listen to Sofia in the local evening news talking a little bit about our project.
Och med mig i studion här så har jag nu vår reporter Sofia Nordén. Du Sofia, vilka är de vanligaste typerna av bedrägerier som folk hör av sig om?
Man verkar bli lurad på allt, men telefoner är ändå det som har varit mest. Sen lite mer förvånande kanske är handväskor och maskiner. Ganska stora maskiner blir folk lurade på.
Hur är det de här bedragarna går tillväga då?
Alltså det vanligaste är ju att du skickar en vara, du får inga pengar, eller du skickar pengar, du får ingen vara. Det är den vanligaste.
Och hur kommer man runt det då?
Ja, men det finns ju massa olika sätt, men man ska vara lite försiktig. Alltid när en vara ska skickas ska man vara lite försiktig, för det är lättare att lura någon på distans. Sen tycker jag också man ska vara försiktig om de är väldigt måna om att sälja till just dig. För en vanlig säljare bryr sig inte om de säljer till dig eller de säljer till någon annan. Men många gånger är det så att de säger att det är jättemånga som vill ha den här, men jag vill sälja till just dig. Och då ska man vara lite försiktig.
En varningsklocka där. Är det många som har hört av sig eller?
Ja, det är jättemånga som har hört av sig. Vi har fått in över 120 unika historier med olika sätt som man blir lurade på.
Och ni har också varit i kontakt med då misstänkta bedragare. Vad säger de?
Ja, alltså, jag har ju låtit mig själv bli lurad några gånger när jag har pratat med dem. Och det som slår mig är liksom att de är så iskalla. Det är nästan omöjligt att förstå att de håller på att bli lurad. Men senare i veckan, det är faktiskt en man som har hört av sig till oss som faktiskt har blivit dömd för den här typen av bedrägerier som de kommer vi träffa senare i veckan.
Och vad händer med den här satsningen nu?
Ja, vi har på i 5 dagar. Vi avslutar imorgon. Men vi har fått så många historier så det här kommer ju fortsätta. Vi kommer ju följa upp fler av dem.
Man kan fortsätta höra av sig helt enkelt.
Absolut.
Yes, and this is, I know you can't read the words here, it doesn't matter. This is a regular Excel form. I just put this picture here to show you that when getting a lot of tips, don't forget to organize them. Cecilia, she's a mastermind of the organization part. She organized all the incoming tips in an Excel form. And that's essential because if you want to do journalism of the tips, you have to sort them to do database journalism. If you just have the mails or in a live feed, it's almost impossible to find the right tips when you want it. So sort them in a good way, and please ask her questions about that later today or later tonight. Maybe not too late tonight, but or tomorrow, because she could give you a lot of information about this. And here's one example. You can just make a little graph of how many people have written or called you about handbag scams, ticket scams, car scams. You can make a little diagram, an easy way to immediately give back to the crowd. And well, this guy, let me just say, this is one of the cases, one of the guys that called us during this week. He's in a wheelchair. He wanted to buy a ticket to a Bruce Springsteen concert in Gothenburg, Sweden. And he needed a special place for a wheelchair space. So he put that online, and someone said, I got a wheelchair space. Just send me 1,000 crowns, and you'll get the ticket. He did that. He never got the ticket. So they scammed him. So he wrote to us, and Sofia went and met him. He told us our story. Pretty basic story. And there's a cliffhanger because there's a happy ending to that. You will see a little bit about it later. Here's pictures of some of the articles we wrote. I mean, we didn't just collect tips. We actually made journalistic pieces. We found out there's a solution to the security gaps in Blocket. You could use the banks in different way. We went through what you call it, court rules to see who are the convicted scammers. We interviewed some scammers themselves, and so on and so forth. And this is a good tip. If you write a lot of articles on the same subject for a longer period of time, try to have this in mind. Every day could look the same. You could just meet yet another guy who had been tricked, yet another guy, if you're not careful. So what we did, we started the week, Monday and Tuesday, with a lot of problems. People who had been tricked, people who have bad things to tell, problems with the actual service and so on. But towards the end of the week, we showed the solutions. How do you avoid getting tricked? Happy endings and so on. So that way, every day don't look the same. and you get a good feeling if you watch us or if you work with us. You get a good feeling about it. We call it the constructive arrow, something we came up with. Maybe we win the Nobel Prize for it. You never know. Some results. 14 suspects were identified. We showed the audience how scammers usually think. Some of the faults in Blocket's payment system were exposed and brought to light, and so on. More numbers. 3 people wrote 22 articles in 1 week. That's a lot. 4 broadcast reportage, and a total of 160,000 unique visitors on the articles. Don't forget to feel good about yourself and try new things. That's what we did. And I mean, if you try a lot of new things, maybe you'll get to go to next year's CIRCOM conference. I guess it's in Holland, is it? Next year? Yeah? So try new things. It's fun.
Last, this
Give
is
back to the audience.
video we did for the audience.
This is a little short film we made at the end of the week.
Och sen blev jag uppringd om igen. Jag fick 90 samtal på okänt nummer.
Tack så mycket för att hundratals av er vågade höra av sig till oss om era Blocket-bluffare.
Men då glömmer vi det här.
Nej, men du, jag får bara fråga en sak. För att egentligen är det så
Jag
här.
bara så får inte fråga en sak. Det räcker. Hej då.
Ja, men egentligen är det så här.
Det var inte jättemycket pengar det handlade om så, men det var mer kicken också. Det var väl någon sorts tillfredsställelse helt enkelt, att man fick in de här pengarna på kontot.
Men vi ska inte glömma av att vi har faktiskt ett lyckligt slut också. När lurade Rickard fick en Bruce Springsteen-biljett av en läsare, Jack ifrån Stockholm.
Jag trodde inte.
Du trodde?
Inte.
Inte.
Det var sant.
Du trodde inte det var sant?
Yeah, so this guy Rickard, he finally got his ticket, and we got the happy ending to our story. Thank you. We will now answer some questions from you guys.
I have one question before we wait. Do you already have new plans for new projects like this?
Yes, we already did a project after this investigation, everyday crime.
Every day?
Everyday crime.
And results also surprising?
Magnificent.
Will you tell us a sentence or two about it?
We did it with a project with many stations in Sweden. So it was a lot bigger and many more viewers and involvement.
Okay, another question?
Well, I just wanted to know, the Blocket, is it the private online store, I mean, for selling and buying? Did you get any problems from them, maybe saying like, this is a bad advertising for us, are you sure in your research?
Do you mean the site or?
Yes, the site.
Yeah, Blocket. Blocket is very, very big in Sweden. It's really dominating. And they actually, well, they said they liked that we did this because it helps them. They don't want people to be scammed. And if we talk about it, then less people will get scammed. So they were actually pretty happy that we did it. Yeah. But we told them 2 days before, I think. So they didn't know that we were going to do it. But they handled it in a very good way. And they answered all our questions and so on, and made some differences after this.
But when it started, it was just the project of your regional office, right? If I understood, yes or not? And if I understood correctly, it could become the standard in whole Sweden?
No, but we did it in Gothenburg with us reporters, but we had one reporter online in Stockholm as well. And it was on our website for the whole of Sweden. So it was stories from the whole country, but we did it in Gothenburg.
What were your expectations up front? How many people you scammed people you think there are, and now you've solved as a story? Did you have any expectations? Are there figures of that? on how many people you think are scammed and how many situations you've solved? Is it?
Oh, if we solved anything. I'm not sure. What I think we did is that we got other people to not get scammed in the future. That's what we did. I don't know if we solved any problems more than like the ticket, but I just felt that we talked about this on Friday and we started on Monday, and we gave my phone number, and they called me the whole weekend, and most of the people I spoke to, they just wanted to talk about it. They just, they talked to me about it, and then they said, "Oh, I'm so happy you're doing something about this." Everybody knows that we can't solve their problem. The money's gone. But what we can do is that we can help people in the future, and people get to talk about it. Because I like we said, I did this before, and I got so many emails and so many phone calls about this. But every story is too small to tell. But it means a lot to people. But when you take all these small stories and you put it in a big story, then suddenly you can tell these stories. And people get very happy about that, even if they don't get the money back.
And one thing we did do was that, you can get these scamming letters. A letter that tells you, please put the money in my account and you will have your merchandise sent to you. And we found out there was a lot of different versions of the same letter. They used the same letter and they just made it look a bit different. And a lot of people sent in the letters, so Sofia put them together and said, this is the common things you should be warned. If you get the letter that's saying this and this and this, be warned. It could be a scamming letter. And no one had done that before. So.
Another question?
You were talking about transparency and how you wanted to show to your audience what were you doing and how you did research and how you were checking the facts and so on. What made you assume that people want to watch that they really have a need to know what you are doing and that they don't want just results based on this project and the one that followed?
Do you know that?
No.
If I just answer what I think, I don't think we know that people want to know that. We just tried this kind of way to do it. But I think it's always good with transparency. You can always go back and see what we are doing. And I'm not sure that we know that these people wanted that, but the whole project were very popular, and they read everything we've done. And we wanted to show that it's you who decides what we're going to do. It's not us this time. We're not there with a finger and saying, we know, you know, tell us. And if we failed, we just had this short of time, then we didn't put everything out, every call we made or anything, but we could say, he's not answering, but he will be getting back tomorrow, we'll check tomorrow.
And one thing we did find, we did the same project once more, as Cecilia told you guys about, but in another subject. And then we found the live flow on the number of unique visitors to the live flow grew for each day. So on Monday we had 10,000, on Tuesday we had 15,000, on Wednesday we had 20,000, something like that. So that tells you, like, the people who had been reading this, they came back. And new people who checked in, they liked what they saw. So that's one way of kind of knowing that people want to read the story behind the finished articles. But you can never be sure about it. But we got questions all the time, or we get questions all the time, how did you find out this? So this is a way to be open and transparent. That's kind of a public service way also to show how did we find the facts and so on.
And it's a package with all of this. You can't just do that, but it's a package.
So what would be the next step for the package? Can we expect some system in Sweden in which audience will be able to suggest what will be new researches you will organize? Or do you already know in which way you will go? Will you deal more with politicians, with the crime, with customer rights, with human rights? If nobody don't want to answer.
No, but I don't know what the future is really, but if I did, I'd be rich. But one thing I do think is that to ask the viewers what they want to see, we should do that every day. That's not strange. We should do that every day. Why should we guess what stories we should publish? We should ask them every day, what stories do you want to see? So that's pretty simple. And you can organize it in a live text contest or something like that. Just a smart app solution or whatever. So I think to ask the viewers more and more what they want to see, that is something we all should do.
And as a reporter, you usually see what upsets people. You make something, and a lot of people react to it, and you think, oh, that's nice, they react to what I did yesterday. Instead of thinking, how can I take all these reactions and make something new? And maybe not the same thing that I did yesterday, just something totally different like we did. And that was something that I learned, that I can think out of the box and do something else.
Okay. We can stop if there is no any more questions with these thoughts for today. Thank you very much once again.